This is a station identification moment. You're listening to CPR Worldwide Media, a division of CPR Media Network, coming to you live right across the planet. Check out our website at www.cprworldwidemedia.com and our Facebook page at facebook.com/CPR Worldwide Media. This is CPR Media Network, coming to you live from the USA.
Well, looky here, a new listener. Hey, this ain't your little sister's radio station.
How are things with the new guy?
All we do is go out to dinner.
That's it?
I mean, he picks up the tab every time, which is great.
Why? He's using you. He probably has a city thank you card and he gets 2 times the points at restaurants.
So he's just racking up points with me.
Some people.
Ugh.
No, I got it.
The City Thank You Preferred Card. Now earn 2 times the points on dining out and entertainment with no annual fee. To apply, go to city.com/thankyoucards.
The most amazing thing about the Ford Fusion isn't the way it looks. The most amazing thing is the way it sees. With blind spot technology, a lane keeping system, and a standard rear view camera, the Fusion is ready for whatever comes your way. Go prepared. Go further.
The most important thing in life will always be family. The people right here, right now.
Dominic Terrell, you don't know me. You're about to.
Looks like the sins of London have followed us home.
Remember Owen Shaw? This is his big bad brother.
We're being hunted.
I'm going with you.
One last ride.
Daddy's gotta go to work.
This takes crazy to a whole nother level.
What's up now? What's up now? Hold it down like what's up now?
Mr. Gray, I just have a couple of questions. To what do you owe your success?
There's some people who say that I don't have a heart.
Why would they say that?
Because they know me well.
Why do I get the feeling that that is not true?
You have to admit he's ridiculously hot.
If you are attracted to that sort of human,
The hot type of human?
I had a rough start in life. I don't do romance.
Could do what no one else can.
Welcome to my world. Mother, Anastasia Steele.
You have no idea how delighted I am to meet you.
you said you didn't do romance.
I don't. What are you doing to me? Where have you been?
Waiting.
Oh, no.
Rated R.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
We are living in times where there is an assault on sanity. Political correctness has run amok and logic has been left by the wayside. Do you constantly ask yourself, WTF is going on in this nation? Do you sometimes feel like a stranger in your own country? Well, fear not. You are not alone. This is the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot Show, coming to you from deep inside flyover country with your hosts, V. Wright and Jose Estevez.
Welcome, everybody, to WTF. I am V. Wright.
And I am Jose Estevez. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be an interesting show. You better buckle in and hold on, because it's going to get crazy. The top of my head's about to come off right now. My blood pressure's shooting up into the stratosphere. What I'm going to tell you right now is, and we'll be talking about these stories in more depth, basically with net neutrality, which, yes, passed today. So now the government, the Department of the Internet, will be established through your federal government. So basically with net neutrality, the ammo ban, and amnesty, among all the many other things, Obama has told Americans, if you like your country, you can keep your country. And you know what that means coming from the liar-in-chief in the White House. Welcome to the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot Show, folks. We are live with you Monday through Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Unrehearsed, unscripted, and unpolitically correct. PG-13, but never PC. It's going to be an interesting show, folks.
Guys, I'd like to remind you guys that you can go to tunein.com, type in CPR into the search box, and find our show there. In addition to be able to listen to us at CPRWorldwideMedia.com and our website, the WTFRadioshow.com. Don't forget to check out our Facebook page, WTF The Whiskey Tango Foxtrot Show, and like us on Twitter at WTF Radio. Senor!
Yes!
This is the last show of the week, which might be a good thing because you and I both might need recuperation time, prepping time.
Without having to stroke out.
I am
really
not sure. I am not certain. However, a lot has occurred. You know, guys, over this last couple of days, we've told you guys that about all of the grabs that have been going on in the disregard of the Constitution, about the hearings going forward on the lack of constitutionality of executive actions that the regime has taken, and how I feel about that. You know, if they were truly going forward with that, today he would be in handcuffs. That didn't happen, so guess what, guys? We're screwed, no doubt. Just to give you guys a rundown on one of these stories. We all know Elizabeth Warren, you know, the Massachusetts Democrat, the one, you know, that they want to turn into the next
president?
The next individual that people adore and worship and bow down to.
You mean the one that's Pocahontas? The one that's got the high cheekbones and lied and said she had Indian ancestry? That liar?
Yes, that would be the
one.
Okay,
that one. Okay.
Well, we know she has a talent for, you know, like trying to start fights and everything else. I mean, you know, she does that for her public persona. You know, she will go after, you know, obscure nominations and economic policies and things like that. Well, she took aim at Scott Alvarez. Now, most folks don't know who he is. He's the Federal Reserve's powerful general counsel. And she went after him for his views on banking regulation. Like I said, most folks don't know who he is, but he is probably one of the top 5 most powerful banking individuals in the United States of America. And, you know, of course, that, you know, puts her in contention for, you know, being taken seriously. However, right now she's really ticked off at the regime, and rightfully so. And it isn't very often that you will hear me agree with a Democrat. Now, I know hers is political pandering and mine is passion, but we do agree. She is claiming outrage over the investor-state dispute settlement provision in the Trans-Pacific Partnership deal that this regime is going forward with. And they have made it very clear that they're going forward with. And why is this a problem? Well, the ISDS would allow foreign companies to challenge U.S. laws and potentially to pick up huge payouts from taxpayers without ever stepping on U.S. soil.
Why don't we just sign the title over to the highest bidder. Folks.
Well, wait,
We're
folks,
done.
it gets
I'm going to
better.
Mexico. All the Mexicans are here. I'm going to Mexico. I'm going to live on a beach somewhere. Seriously.
I'm telling you,
Somebody brings
Belize is
the
looking
original copy
good.
of the Constitution with us. Get all those originals out of DC and let's go. I mean, who's with me? Let's go down to Mexico. All the Mexicans are here. Let's just send all the Mexicans here, and then we'll put up a fence so they can't come south once we make Mexico as nice as the U.S. once was. Come on.
I told you you'd lose it when I told you this one.
Oh my God. Warning on this one. I was ambushed, folks. I didn't know this one. We are totally unrehearsed and unscripted. And in fact, we didn't talk more than 15 minutes before the show started because I was at my daughter's basketball game. I mean, I just...
Well, let me tell you how this will work. You know that Agenda 21 UN control type deal that we've been discussing, or that I've been ranting and raving about probably for dadgum near 15 years now. But we've been on the show talking about it since day one. Well, here's how this ISDS program that they're going to sign on to will work. Unless maybe, and I'm not really holding out much hope that he's going to listen to his own party. He doesn't listen to his own people. So maybe, just maybe, he might listen to them, but I'm finding that doubtful. Imagine that the United States bans a toxic chemical. I don't know, like the chemical that was in drywall in China that we no longer get because of the chemical in it. Because it had health and environmental consequences. Well, in this scenario, if China, or the company in China that made that drywall, makes this toxic product, and they oppose the laws that are here in the United States, right now it would have to be challenged in U.S. courts, and of course U.S. courts has dominance. But with the ISDS, the company could skip the U.S. courts and go before an international panel of arbitrators. If the company won, the ruling could not be challenged in U.S. courts, and the arbitration panel could require American taxpayers to cough up the millions or even billions or trillions of dollars in damages. Our laws become mute in foreign product, period.
Well, and it's just like the Muslims, our friends the Quranimals, trying to get their Sharia law over here too, to take the place of U.S. courts, or in place of U.S. courts. And we're just giving away the farm, folks. We are giving it away, and that's about the nicest way I can say it tonight. I'm going to have to be real careful and bite my tongue quite a bit.
Well, that was one I knew that you did not know about because you had not said a word to me, and that is why I said I want to do that one first, because you're going to lose it.
V, let me tell you something, you and the listeners. I work in the real world, folks. I have a day job, and I think I do a doggone good job at it. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I get a lot of satisfaction out of it at times. I meet a lot of people in the course of a day in my job, and I'm going to tell you what. I have been afraid for the future of this country for a long time. One of the reasons I decided to do the show with V is get the word out, and be able to talk about it passionately. What I feel that I love this country. No ifs, ands, or buts. Warts and all, I love this country. I've talked to a lot of people today. I'm going to tell you what, folks, people from all walks of life, not one single person knew about the FCC voting and the takeover of the internet by the federal government. Not a single person. But these are the people that can quote sports scores till the cows come home from 50 years ago. Their favorite teams. They can tell you stats that happened back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, who played, who was the coaches. They did not know about the FCC. They also did not know about the ammo ban. And actually, V, I think we hit that out of the park a week or two ago already. And Rush just talked about it on the show today and really got people in a tizzy. AR-15, which, folks, is not an assault rifle. It is a... AR does not stand for assault rifle. AR-15, single shot, semi-automatic rifle. Yes, they look wicked. They're black. So, they're black. They must be bad, right? Come on. That's the way most of the people think nowadays, I think. Oh, that's racist for me to even say that. But, folks, they're going to ban the ammunition. And here's where it is. You like your guns? You can keep your guns. It's the ammo we're going to go after. And guess what? He's got all the helping of the BATFE, and I've got nothing good to say about one of the scumbags in that federal agency. He's got the full backing of the BATFE, and I still refer to them as jackbooted thugs because I remembered what they did at Ruby Ridge, and I remember what they did at Waco many, many years ago. Maybe some of you have heard about those things. I still remember about it was the BATF back then. Now it's the BATFE. They are banning ammunition, and then they're working in conjunction with the EPA because bullets aren't green enough. So they're going to use all these different agencies because Congress, of course, can't be used to do anything, folks. Your Congress is absolutely worthless. You already know the people on the left, the Democrats, are basically communists. They might as well just call themselves that because many of them are closet communists. They're leftists, they're progressives, whatever word terminology you want to describe them. Unfortunately, the Republicans, the ones on the right, are no better. They are not doing anything. They are not standing up to anybody. It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I want to know,
we have a one-party system.
We have CPACs going on right now, and they're all up there. Number one, CPAC stands for Conservative Political Action Conference. Number one, they've invited Jeb Bush to be a guest speaker at CPAC. So in my opinion, they can drop the conservative part and just call themselves a political action conference. Any and all are welcome because if you're going to let one Democrat through the door, you might as well let the rest of them through the door too. That's just my opinion on that. I'm so glad I'm not there because I do not have the decorum with a straight face to stand in the presence of any of those folks and not just lose my lid. And I'm putting that as mildly as I possibly can. I am trying to be mindful that we have children like Keegan out there listening, but I could not with a straight face. I mean, if I tried to do it without being angry, I would look like a giggling, laughing buffoon because I would laugh at them every time they said conservative or Republican because it is absolutely the most preposterous crap I have ever heard. But they're sitting there and they're touting themselves, oh, we're going to do this. Guys, I'm not confident we're going to have another election.
No. And if you had asked me that 6 months ago, a year ago, when people were talking about that, I was one of those guys that was laughing that off, saying,
were!
Come on now, seriously. But I'll tell you what, folks, literally every day that goes by now and more things are happening, I'm not so sure that it couldn't happen and won't happen.
Let me ask you this, okay? Any opportunity we had to put a building block between us and communism occurred on November 4th of last year. And since those people have now taken their seats, they have given in on every single solitary instance of everything that they could give in on, everything presented before them. And folks, if you think the DHS budget is not going to go forward tomorrow, you're crazy. It will go forward tomorrow by midnight. The DHS is not going to get shut down because it's such a priority. It's an integral part of the system. Anyway, so
I challenge our listeners right now. I challenge you right now. You call the show 313-462-0068, and you tell me, or V, whoever you want to talk to, or both of us, how many times DHS, or especially TSA, but DHS, how many terror attacks they prevented and how many they've flat outright stopped. You call in and tell us if the number's not zero, because of course I claim the number is zero. Since its inception, they have never done one single thing besides spend money and arm up every federal agency that they possibly can, and a lot of state agencies and other agencies for eventually to use against the American people. And 6 months ago, if I had said those words, I would have thought myself I would commit myself. But the more I see every day, the more it's a possibility.
Well, you've got to look at it like this. We put them in order. We put them in place in November by a landslide. Historical proportions. Yep. You guys remember that. Historical proportions. Now, they have given on everything. They have backed off under two stipulations. Oh, we'll have a hearing about it. or we'll let the Supreme Court deal with it. Guys, I've told you over the last couple of days how many times Obama has said it doesn't matter what the Supreme Court says about Obamacare. He's going to move forward with it. It doesn't matter what the courts say about his illegal invader Americans in Waiting program. He's moving forward with it. Not only are they moving forward in it, they're already pushing to move forward in it in every state that is not part of the lawsuit. That's number one. And number two, he has threatened the Border Patrol that if they follow the law and do not follow his orders, they will lose their jobs. What? So, with every opportunity that that our representatives, both in the Congress and in the Senate, have to put some distance or put some space or put a stop to, they have backtracked. They have bent over and not backwards and said, "Here's a jar of Vaseline." Okay?
You ain't even getting that. That ain't happening.
Okay? So, with every time this has occurred, all it has done is embolden him more, embolden him more, embolden him more, embolden him more. Today it was the FCC. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous. He is on a tangent to take over, and folks, do not forget, just like he said that he wanted to fundamentally transform this nation, he, in a joking fashion, so that nobody would take it seriously, he said, I got to figure out a way that a president can get a third term. Mm-hmm. That is what he said. I've got to figure out a way a president can get a third term. Folks, he's going to find a way to get a third term.
And you think the Congress is going to stand up against him? Hold on a minute, V. We got to back up here a second.
Why do you think Hillary Clinton hadn't announced her run? What Democrat has announced their run?
Well, none yet, but that's the problem. It's just more distractions. But wait a minute. We're backing up here a second, folks. V said something, and there's so much that happened in the last 48 hours, the last 4 or 5 days. All right, now here's another thing coming right from the regime, folks, and if once again, look it up. It's happening. Illegal alien invaders, people that have broken laws to come into the United States, that come here to take and take and take and not provide one thing or not help in any way. Illegal alien invaders, according to the regime, are now to be known as Americans in waiting, according to the Obama regime. Folks, that is the gospel truth. Illegal aliens are now to be referred to and known as Americans in waiting. Now, folks, do you think he's going to just stop at the 4 or 5 million that they keep talking about? Or do you think it's going to happen to, I think there's 30 to 50 million minimum. God knows how many just in the last 6 months to a year have come across. Do you honestly think that this isn't going to happen and it's not going to be way more than he thinks or way more than anybody is saying? I'm going to tell you something, too. One more thing, because I'm not done with the GOP, not by a long shot. Wayne Allen Root, and if you guys don't know him, he's on Facebook, he's all over. Wayne, if we quote people, and a lot of times, I mean, we can do pretty well on our own, but sometimes a post catch my eye on Facebook or on social media. Wayne Allen Root is a great patriot. He can rant with the best of them. Love this guy. Here's what he said. GOP is so stupid, busy debating words that offended Obama, while Obama laughs in our face, bans bullets, takes over internet, plans massive estate tax increases, tries to kill charitable donations, tries to tax to death college savings plans, and tells border agents he will punish them for obeying the law, courts, or the Constitution. And he says, here's how he finishes up. Wayne Allen Root, folks, root for America. Either GOP stands up or USA is done. Amen, Wayne Allen Root. I cannot say it any better than that. And that's all stuff that has happened just since the election in November, folks, just since January. These are all things that are happening right now as we speak. And remember, if you talk about illegal aliens, they're Americans in waiting now, according to the regime. Can you believe the temerity of these communist pricks? I mean, they are, to say he's emboldened is not even the right word. We've got 2 years left, folks. We've got 2 years left.
No,
and
we don't.
I don't know if the
No, we
United
don't.
States will survive it. In fact, I'll tell you what. The United States right now is mortally wounded. You are in a post-constitutional country because when you have a constitution that gives the freedoms and the rights to the people and actually is used as a restraining instrument against a big federal government, and you've got the federal government doing what they're doing, the executive branch running mostly in conjunction with the judicial branch with almost zero opposition from the legislative branch. Folks, you have a dangerous thing coming your way. You have a country right now that has no borders. How do you have a country that has no borders? How do you have a piece of property that has no borders that you don't have marked, maybe fenced off if it's small enough, but that you don't have some sort of a mapping and some sort of a knowledge of where the borders are and stuff like that? I would say that you don't have any property that, well, who's to say if you don't have that? Folks, you have a United States of America, 57 states, 48 in the lower, or whatever that math works out to for the 57 states, according to Hussein Obama. You have a country now that people can come in from anywhere they want, and the Border Patrol, who is tasked with, Border Patrol. What do you think Border Patrol does? The Border Patrol, part of DHS that they're working on this funding because we need it so bad, is told that actually if you do your job, you are going to face the full weight of the United States government, and we're going to take you to court where you're going to get fired. They're being threatened to not do their job. You do not have a country anymore, folks. You want to call and argue it? That we can still possibly have a country when you have no borders? You're done, folks. You have no country anymore. Thanks to the Obama regime, you have no country. The United States, as it was founded, a constitutional republic, no longer exists, folks. Now, you might say, well, Jose, you're taking this too far. No, I'm actually not taking it as far as I could. You have no country. The United States of America, as founded, does not exist anymore. Yes, there's still a United States of America. We
live in
in word only, folks.
That's
but
right.
It is being fundamentally transformed into something that in less than 20 years you will not recognize.
It has been fundamentally transformed.
Oh, you better believe
and I will tell you why it has been. We have a regime, a tyrannical government in place with a feckless, spineless representation in both the courts and in the legislation. And you have individual states who are not stepping up and saying no more. They are deferring everything to the federal government. And you have those in charge at the hest of this, the top of the pyramid, saying, we're going to do what we want. You have not stopped us. You didn't stop me when you knew I was not eligible. You didn't stop me the first time I pulled out my pen and acted in a manner that was questionable. You did not stop me when I released traitors. You did not stop me when I bypassed the Constitution. You did not stop. You did not get out with the full weight of your voice and make people aware why O'Care would be wrong and unsustainable. You did not. You kept funding my welfare bills, my Obama phones, the expansion of unemployment, the expansion of the welfare system, the expansion. You kept funding the Department of Justice when you knew that they were not doing their job. You kept funding the EPA when you knew that I was sending them out to do land grabs and to inhibit someone's personal freedom against their constitutional rights. You have done nothing. You kept funding the State Department, knowing that I was bringing 300,000 Middle Easterners from terrorist nations into this country. You kept writing the checks. So guess what? I'm going to do what the hell I want to, and I dare you to say anything, because now I have purged the military. Now I have put my thumb on law enforcement. Those that I don't have, that are complicit with me, I now control. So, if you want to stand up to me, that's all well and good. I will, just like with the Border Patrol, put the full weight of the government I have access to against you. I've got the IRS, I've got the Department of Justice, I've got the NSA, the FBI, the CIA. I've got the EPA. I've got the Department of Labor.
Everything.
The Department. Yes, I
all the
have it
agencies.
all. And I have put my buddies, my Black Panther, my Muslim Brotherhood, and those with a sworn allegiance to Marxism and communism in all the vital positions, and they will do what I want them to do. So now what? So folks, I ask you, now what? The time has come. Actually, the time has passed. But are you going to sit out there and continue to say, well, next election? Guys, we've got to take a break. Somebody's got to pay these bills. We'll be back in a moment.
This is a station identification moment. You're listening to CPR Worldwide Media, a division of CPR Media Network, coming to you live right across the planet. Check out our website at www.cprworldwidemedia.com and our Facebook page at facebook.com/CPR Worldwide Media. This is CPR Media Network, coming to you live from the USA.
Well, looky here, a new listener. Hey, this ain't your little sister's radio station.
What's up, guys? Lou here from Unbox Therapy, your tech and gadget expert, and today I'm checking out the 2015 Ford Fusion Hybrid Energy. This is the special Fusion. It's giving you that plug-in electric feature, so you can actually drive just on electric if you're taking a short trip, or you can use the electric, then shift over to the gas. One of the standout features on this EV is actually the app that you can get as a partner for the vehicle itself. It'll tell you how much of a charge you have if somebody has unplugged your vehicle. You can also use the app to find recharge stations, just making your life a little bit easier. It'll even heat itself up in the morning before you wake up. Technology is not just about fun and games. This one also has a feature that will warn you if you're going to depart from your lane. So this is it, the cockpit, the captain's spot. Push button, we got a 12-speaker Sony stereo in here. Got the big touch screen, of course. You can add your phone, you got your Bluetooth hookup. A lot of the controls have migrated to the touch interface. Now, overall, I think this thing is outfitted very well with the technology features that I'd be looking for in a vehicle. So there you have it. We came, we saw, I unboxed the new 2015 Ford Fusion. Thank you very much for watching. Now I'm gonna figure out how I can take this baby out of here.
Citigold is an account from a global bank with over 200 years experience, offering international banking expertise across over 100 markets. Your dedicated investment consultant adds a unique personal touch to your banking experience. Complimentary lifestyle offers like Marhaba service and free global money transfers help you save on time and money. At the core of Citigold is your dedicated relationship manager, personally looking after your financial needs. Be it lifestyle privileges like golf, lounge access across the Middle East, or worldwide privileges, Citigold provides you with a rewarding experience. One card is all you need for all your Citibank accounts. As a Citigold client, you benefit from our international expertise and global reach. Citigold is more than an account. It's a personal banking service offering exceptional privileges, customer service and recognition worldwide. So wherever you are, Citigold will be with you.
The most important thing in life will always be family. The people right here, right now.
Dominic Toretto. You don't know me. You're about to.
Looks like the sins of London have followed us home.
Remember Owen Shaw? This is Big Bad Brother.
We're being hunted. I'm going with you.
One last ride.
Daddy's gotta go to work.
This takes crazy to a whole nother level.
What's up now? What's up now? Hold it down like what's up now?
Mr. Gray, I just have a couple of questions. To what do you owe your success?
There's some people who say that I don't have a heart
Why would they say that?
because they know me well.
Why do I get the feeling that that is not true?
You have to admit he's ridiculously hot.
If you are attracted to that sort of human,
The hot type of human?
I had a rough start in life. I don't do romance.
Could do what no one else can.
Welcome to my world. Mother, Anastasia Steele.
You have no idea how delighted I am to meet you.
you said you didn't do romance.
I don't. What are you doing to me? Where have you been?
Waiting.
Rated R.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Welcome back, everybody. It's WTF, and I am V. Wright.
And I am Jose Estevez. Folks, welcome back to the show. If you're new with us, we appreciate all of our listeners worldwide. We come to you live Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern here on the CPR Worldwide Media Network. And this is the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot radio show. Welcome back. Folks, net neutrality for idiots. You walk into an ice cream shop. The man in front of you buys a single scoop for $1. You call the police and demand that they give you an entire gallon for $1. The police point a gun at the gun shop owner and force them to give you a gallon of ice cream for $1. We're so screwed. We are so screwed.
You know, if it was just net neutrality, okay, I mean, okay, they turned it into a utility, and they didn't have all the other controls in it that, you know, we've been able to talk about. And I've got a question on this net neutrality. When you looked at this new regulation, it stated very clearly non-public. So how come Apple, Microsoft, Google were all allowed to view it and have input in it?
Well, let me. Okay, now we've got a great listener down in Indianapolis area. I hope he's listening in tonight. But he's got a post on his Facebook, and I want to read it. It's from another person, and I don't know who she is, but I think this is good. The new FCC ruling imposes rules on broadband internet services that will target conservative websites to control the outcome of the 2016 election. The ruling is in direct response to the sweeping wins for the Senate and House, now controlled by Republicans, which of course doesn't mean a damn thing. This enforcement will suppress and censor conservatives, conservative election campaign, and fundraising groups from posting freely online about the government, politics, liberal candidates, and their policies. This form of governmental control over the internet will eventually eliminate any or all of the websites exposing the truth. This is a disaster in the making. Now, you can say this person's talking in hyperbole, and I would maybe say it's a possibility, folks, except you had Lois Lerner, a very high-up person in in the IRS, who we talked about last night, was making well over $200,000 a year directly targeting American citizens that were conservatives. So you tell me it's not going to happen? It already is happening.
Well, let's look at something else.
Targeting Americans, getting paid. I think she was making almost $250,000 a year. Really? That's a public servant to you folks? Making $250,000 a year? Attacking American citizens with the full knowledge of the executive branch and apparently the full backing of the executive branch? Holy crap, what kind of a country do we live in?
Well, if you look at another side of that, I mean, if you want further confirmation, go listen to PBR one day. Just listen to public broadcasting radio that's paid for by our tax dollars. I think for every conservative show or conservative person speaking, there are at least 10 liberal hosts. And that's what they're looking for. But that's what they call fair and balanced. That's fair. That's equitable.
Right. Well, you know what's funny? People are already talking about the 2016 election. Folks, we just voted in the 2014 election. Overwhelmingly won back the House and the Senate. We kicked royal booty. Has it helped us, folks? Where's the GOP? They're all talking big stuff at the PAC meeting. Notice I don't say CPAC, it's the PAC meeting, because there's not a single conservative there. Not a single one. And the ones that talk the loudest are the ones that I can't trust the most. Seriously, folks? Let's talk about the 2016 election. And let's say, okay, there's going to be a 2016 election. You think that's going to change anything again? Oh, but we might get a Republican president. Oh, really? And that's done a lot of good for us.
Well, yeah, we might actually get a Chris Christie or a Jeb Bush.
Or maybe we'll get a W. Bush. Because, he was so conservative for 8 years. God, he spent money like a drunk Democrat. And his dad was nothing like the man he replaced, Ronald Reagan, rest in peace. And yeah, sure, I know Ronald Reagan wasn't perfect. I don't set him up on a pedestal and worship him or anything like that. But by God, he loved the country, and he was strong on terrorism and strong on other things where he needed to be, and he got the economy going again. Damn near bankrupted the Russians, actually did. Made them shut up for many, many years. And now look, they're emboldened. All of our enemies are emboldened all over the world. ISIS, you can't... The Mullah Obama, the head Muslim in charge of our country, can't call them terrorists for what they are. He'll do anything. Folks, he thinks V. Wright and I and all you that are listening in are a bigger terrorist and bigger threat to the United States than ISIS and all the Koranimals. And you know what?
Oh, he thinks Khomeini over there in Iran's a good guy. However, in the streets of Iran, while he's been negotiating to make sure that they have nuclear weapons so that we can pass it, and he's also given them payments of a little over $400 million every 2 weeks for the last 18 months, and those payments will continue until June, by the way. And he has knowledge through our surveillance ability to know that they've been building nuclear weapons for 5 years.
Of course he knows.
Okay, well, fine, we'll give it to them. And what do they think in return? Because they know how weak we are. They have been
they know how weak he is.
They have been sitting waiting for America to have a screw up like Barack Obama. Seriously, the world has those that seek power and are oppressive have been sitting back knowing that at the way things were going, sooner or later it was going to happen. And they have been patiently waiting for the United States of America to have a Barack Obama. Well, let me tell you how much respect they have for him. Today, or should I say yesterday, in Iran, they took to the streets, burning the American flag. They hung an effigy to Barack Obama. And for all you folks out there that don't know what that is, they took a dummy that looks like Barack Obama, hung him, and set him on fire.
That's racist. Was it half black?
No, it was full black.
Red diaper.
Oh, wait a minute. Iran, you are racist.
I'm telling you, that's racist, Iran. Boy, that'll get you in trouble quicker than anything. Next thing you know, you'll have the Department of Injustice on you. Of course, now, if Lynch let's talk about Lynch for a second, because she was passed out of committee today for the full Senate to vote. I don't know when that will come up. I would imagine probably at 4:45 tomorrow afternoon, right before they all leave for the weekend. So then we can call the DOJ the lynch mob, because of course she's going to get confirmed. Do you think there's enough Republicans that have enough spine in their body to actually oppose her? Actually, three members of the Republicans on this committee voted yes to pass her out of conference so that the whole Senate can vote on her confirmation.
Well, the Judiciary,
and if you think Holder's bad,
wait a minute, the Judiciary Committee approved her to go forward in the nomination process, even though she's under investigation for money laundering.
And folks, this is a lady that right in front of Congress said that, what was that she said about Constitution and stuff? Basically, Obama can do whatever he wants, is the gist of it. Holy, and she's going to be in charge of the Department of Justice, folks. OMG, you can't even make it up.
No kidding. It is unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, we are just getting slammed on every front. With the liberties that have already been taken, we've got, in the United States, we've got a growing number of Islamics. Your tax dollars, my tax dollars, Jose's tax dollars, they're all going to build mosques. When is the last time this government built a Christian church, a Catholic church, a Lutheran church, a Methodist church, a Presbyterian church, an Amish? When was the last time they built an Amish barn for gathering?
A barn raising. Maybe the Muslims could do some outreach and do an Amish barn raising. I'm telling you.
Oh, and you want to hear the absurdity of this?
But it's all happening right now.
Yeah, you really want to hear this? The Jackson, Mississippi Police Department is now requiring its officers to take Spanish language courses, starting immediately.
That's primary language
and no, wait a minute. I'm waiting to hear where they're going to be required to take Arabic lessons as well.
That's coming too.
You can bank on it. You can bank on it.
I like a quote from one of my friends. Tyranny can go FCC itself. That's a keeper, folks. I'm writing that one down. Because, folks, what we have is tyranny right now. You can say what you want, and people say, well, we're still free to move around the country. No, you're not. Look at how many sobriety, now they call them sobriety checkpoints, that they're setting up more and more in state after state, especially on the weekends. For your safety, of course, citizens, show your papers, submit to a sobriety test. Otherwise, we'll take you down to the station and draw blood or make you submit to one. So, yeah, that's really free to travel. You free to travel on airlines, folks? TSA gropes you up nice and good. Take your shoes off. Yet, has the TSA stopped or prevented one act of terrorism since their inception? No, but over 400 of them have been arrested for stealing and other forms of malfeasance. Come on, folks, you're not as free as you think.
I want to talk about something else.
There's so many different examples that I can use, but you're not as free as you might tend to think you are. But that's okay.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to sit here because I've got this excuse me, blurb in front of me. If you think for 1 minute that the government is not going on a mission to dumb us down, look at Common Core, and then I want you to think about what I'm about to talk about. Pot is now legal in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Pot is now legal in Washington, D.C.
Yep.
Even though Congress has said, we're going to fight it, well, whatever. Nobody believes Congress, so whatever. But the reason I say that this is on a mission to dumb down America is just a few years ago, smoking was so bad for you that we have to ban smoking in public facilities, which we all knew was a crock then, because smoking actually saves the government money, because people die of lung cancer and don't collect Social Security and other benefits, okay? So, smoking is so bad for you. We have got to stop people from being able to smoke in an environment where others would be it be forced upon others. We have to make sure in the city of Washington, D.C., it is illegal to smoke outside a cigarette. But as of today, it is legal to smoke a joint.
Oh, you can't. Well, I'll tell you
I'm
why.
not making this up. I'm not making, and this is true. This is true in a lot of cities in a lot of cities across this country. You can smoke pot. You can sit out in an internet cafe and smoke a joint, but you cannot smoke a cigarette.
V, for goodness sake, do you not know why? Because what are people on pot? They're usually, I mean, generally over, unless they do it a whole lot, they can become psychotic and stuff when they have a very high level. But folks, it makes you mellow. Do you care when you're smoking pot? Now, I'm going to tell you what.
I'm just going to sit back and chill out and relax.
I did it once in the 80s. Didn't do anything for me. I was like, okay, whatever. It didn't impress me. I tried it once, and I did inhale, okay? Clinton, whoever you want to talk, okay? But folks, what I've heard, and the studies show that people that are on this, they're pretty mellow. They really don't give a damn about anything. Gee, why would the government from coast to coast in all 57 states want to expedite the pot laws, pro-pot laws? Now you can get caught with X amount and they don't even really prosecute for you. It might rate you a little ticket for a couple bucks. No big deal. Why do you think they would want more and more and more people to be smoking pot? Because, boy, then you have an even more dumbed-down population that doesn't give a damn about what's going on.
And
you
I'm
already
not saying
have that with all the people that are watching sports.
And I'm not saying
that know nothing else about anything that goes on in the world. And I know some of you out there love your sports and are watching sports. I'm talking about the ones, though, that we all know that's all they know. The ones that today didn't realize the FCC just gave federal control to the internet. These are the people I'm talking about, the no and low information voters. And at least half the country is comprised of low and no information voters. And of course, why do you think you'd want them all to be on pot on top of everything else? Because you got them, you fix their gaze with the TV. They're drawn to it. They can't get away from it, folks. And you've got the pot to mellow them out, and they don't really give a darn what's happening.
And I'm not saying I can't sit here and say all the people that smoke pot are unintelligent. I know a lot of people who work very stressful jobs. They go home, they take I guess it's a couple of hits off their pipe or tokes or whatever.
Why did they do it?
To relax and chill out.
Mellow them out and to forget
but then they're the minority. But what my point is that is the minority of pot users that I know. Most people that I know that are on pot, they don't want to do anything. They don't hold down permanent jobs. If they do, they're menial positions, which they won't have because we're fixing to have 50 million illegals take those positions. But that's what they do. They are the world's largest procrastinators. And I understand through some science says that it has some benefits for certain medical conditions. Okay? If you're dying from cancer, by all means, I want you to smoke a joint, okay?
Sure. I mean, you know what?
I really, take some Dilaudid, some Vicodin. I don't give a damn. Whatever makes you feel good,
Whatever makes you feel good. At that point, I'm fine with that, too. I don't have Take two, take three. Come on.
Yeah, but I don't want my daughter doing it. I don't want my daughter doing it. She's got 4 kids to raise. She's got a house to take care of. She better be taking care of that stuff. And that's just the way it is. I want her lucid. I want her aware. I don't want her so chilled out and relaxed that she is incapable of paying attention. And I'm going to tell you something else. And I know I'm probably going to catch a lot of flack. Y'all might even run me off the air for this. But I've never met a pothead that did not think that they alone were the most brilliant individuals in the universe, and they're idiots. So I'm sorry. So if you're a pothead, and there is a difference, there's a difference between a casual user or somebody who just like goes and works a stressful job, comes home, I get that. But the pothead is the one that gets up in the morning has to smoke before he heads to work, if he heads to work. The pot or she. The pothead is the one that at lunch break, they're getting stoned in the parking lot. The pothead is the one that probably goes through a quarter or more a week. Okay?
I don't know what all the qualifications are for certain titles when you're smoking pot. I don't really care, to be honest with you.
I'm just saying. There are things that I know. Just because I don't partake does not mean I don't make myself knowledgeable. I had teenagers, okay?
Well, yeah, and I know it happens, but like I said, that's the overall reason that I can see, and of course all this is our opinion, that's the overall reason I can see is that they are expediting the smoking of marijuana and making it to be part of the norm, to be very normal, to be a very real, like I said, now it's worse to be smoking a cigarette than it is to be smoking a joint. I mean,
in many places in this country, you will go to jail for standing outside and smoking a cigarette.
Yep.
If you light up a cigarette in a building, you will go to jail. There is no stipulation for that in all of these cities for marijuana, with the exception of Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. says you cannot smoke it, you cannot bring it on federal property. Anywhere else in the city.
Maybe actually we ought to just start pumping marijuana smoke into the Capitol building and all the.
Hey, I think
buildings.
It's a
And
great
then they can all
idea.
just sit there all day and watch porn like they do, and eat Funyuns and have pizza parties and stuff like that. Maybe they do less damage if we did that. What do you think?
I mean, I
don't
think
know. I'm just spitballing here, folks. Cut me some slack. I'm just spitballing.
Reports have come out that Hussein sits in the White House and smokes pot anyway. I don't think so. I think he does lines of coke on. I mean, I can imagine going into the White House at this particular point in time, into the private residence area, and I bet there is a mirror on every surface.
Well, I mean, that's maybe.
I'm just
we need
saying.
to pump it into the court buildings too. While I'm thinking about it, let's do that. Supreme Court building, and heck, let's do it in every federal building.
Well,
Let's just pump it in.
because Hussein doesn't act like somebody who's been smoking pot. He acts like somebody who's been snorting coke. He's like zoom, zoom, zoom. He's not like chilled out. It'll be all right. We don't need to worry about this right now. No, he is not smoking pot.
Mm-hmm.
However, I have noticed him going a lot lately.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, we are screwed. We are so screwed.
I tell you, it's at the point, folks, that I don't even know what to say anymore. I just see it going downhill. I see a country that I lived in when I was real young, and then we moved overseas. And if you're new to the show, it's a new story to you. If you've been with us, bear with me. Came back in the early mid '80s, and it was an interesting time. Think back to the mid '80s. After Carter, things are starting to pick up. Remember, after Carter was out, what were home mortgages, folks? What was your interest? 12, 15, 18, 20%. And the country was just glum. It was down. It was depressed as a whole. And then we get Reagan. And here's this guy that comes in, and he actually loves the country, and he's got some interesting ideas, and he's a hawk. He's pretty strong, peace through strength. And I believe he firmly believed all those things. They weren't just slogans to him. So I come back to America as a young man, starting high school in the mid-'80s, and, the cool music and stuff like that. And the country's just kind of really getting pumped up. It's at the end of his first term. A lot of these things that he started, a lot of people would say it's trickle-down economics, whatever it was starting to work. The country was coming more alive, but we were deep inside of a Cold War. And folks, I was trying to talk to a young person today, and they don't understand it, of course, because they weren't around. So I was trying to give him my perspective. I said, we thought at any moment, and of course the movie Red Dawn didn't help at all, that Russian Soviet paratroopers could be falling out of the sky, parachuting out of the sky onto U.S. soil. That's how it was in the mid-'80s during the height of the Cold War, right before it was all over, around 89, 90 in that time. That's how it was, folks. We thought, Reagan had even joked at one point, he was hot mic'd, and he said, give him 5 minutes and then start the bombing and stuff. We were right at the crux of this whole thing. And we thought this could happen at any time, that, my God, the two biggest boys on the block are finally going to rumble. It's coming to a head. And I mean, it just gave me patriotism like crazy. It was, better dead than red, kill a commie for mommy. I mean, go through all the slogans we had and stuff. But God, we love this country, and we were willing to fight and die for this country if need be. Because this was the greatest country on earth, and no commie's going to change us or take over or whatever. And I don't know, where has that all gone? I know there's people out there that beats in your heart like it beats in my heart, in my chest. It's part of my DNA. It's in my blood system. And it's even harder because you just see it being taken away from you little by little, day by day. And lately, not even little by little, they are making such huge strides. All these things we've been talking about, ammo bans, FCC, net neutrality, on and on and on. They are just taking it away from us. They are taking our birthright away from us.
We're not only talking about what has been done. Let's look at what has been said just this week and the things that have been done in correlation. Guys, it is a mess. He has gone forward and told every state, if you do not move forward with Common Core, we are going to defund you. I am going to ignore the Supreme Court when they come down. If they come against Obamacare and find it unconstitutional, I am going to move forward with it anyway. If the Supreme Court says that I cannot go forward with the Americans in Waiting, I am going to use every tool at my disposal to ensure no one leaves. I've got this ISDS plan. I am going to move forward with it that takes and basically destroys American business. Guys, if you think it's not going to destroy American business, you're out of your mind. Because every country in the world will then open up to compete, regardless of whether or not they have proper goods and services or not, and then sue American companies out of business. So that's gone. Then we've got the FCC rulings. Then, it's just, it is all thrown in there, and he is not done.
Not by a long shot. 2 years to go, folks. Hey, we've got to take a break. Holy smokes, it's the top of the hour, V. Where does the time fly when we're having fun? It's just... First hour's gone, folks, but we will be back for another solid hour on the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot radio show. Stay with us, and you can always call us when we get back as well. 313-462-0068. We'll be right back.
This is a station identification moment. You're listening to CPR Worldwide Media, a division of CPR Media Network, coming to you live right across the planet. Check out our website at www.cprworldwidemedia.com and our Facebook page at facebook.com/CPR Worldwide Media. This is CPR Media Network, coming to you live from the USA.
Well, looky here, a new listener. Hey, this ain't your little sister's radio station.
Dad, Katy Perry is coming to town. Can we get tickets, please?
Tickets? Sure, how many?
Well, there's Hannah and Maddie and Jen and Sarah and Sarah.
Whoa, hold on. Here it comes. We can't forget about your older sister.
Thank you.
Seriously? What? I get 2 times the thank you points on each ticket. Can I come? Yeah.
The Citi Thank You Preferred Card. Now earn 2 times the points on entertainment and dining out with no annual fee. To apply, go to citi.com/thankyoucards.
The most amazing thing about the Ford Fusion isn't the way it looks. The most amazing thing is the way it sees. With blind spot technology, a lane keeping system, and a standard rear view camera, the Fusion is ready for whatever comes your way. Go prepared. Go further.
Listen up! Ready?
Ready.
Steady. Go!
It's more than a movie. It's now a ride. Let's go! Fast and Furious, supercharged. Ride it at Universal Studios Hollywood.
The American dream
become a nightmare. Signs of the time are on cardboard on corners in town. Like a cancer that's silently spreading, there's an unspoken fear. We're on our way down. We must take America back. Main Street to Wall Street, cities and states, Washington, D.C. Before it's too late, there's not long. We need leaders who lead us, not stick us and bleed us, then ransom our future and our children's, that's wrong. We must take America back as liberty weeps, our forefathers spin in their graves. Pray God will bless some way out of this mess. We must take America back. Fight for freedom, and the soul of the USA. Right here, right now, it's Independence Day. We must take America back. Main Street to Wall Street, cities and states, Washington, D.C. Before it's too late, there's not long. We need leaders who lead us, who lift us and heed us, who stand for what's right and stand up to what's wrong. We must take America back, now and forever, with God in His rightful place. Then He will bless and protect the U.S. We must take America back. We must take America back.
Welcome back, everybody. I am V. Wright.
And I am Jose Estevez. Welcome back to the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot show, where we are entering the second hour, the last night of the week, sad to say. Folks, if this is your first time to listen to us, we come to you live Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, we are unrehearsed, unscripted, and unpolitically correct. PG-13, but never PC. And as I mentioned, this is the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot radio show. And folks, if you're not whispering to yourself or saying out loud or just yelling, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot 20 to 40 times a day lately, then I don't even know if you have a pulse. Because I know I do. Can't help it. All the stuff that's coming at us, it's like a hurricane of crap. It's just wow. And it's not slowing down, and I don't believe it will for the next 2 years either, as they double down on fundamental transformation of the greatest country in the world, the Constitutional Republic of the United States of America, into a third world poopy hole. And I would say, well, let's say third world banana republic, except folks, we don't have any bananas and we won't have any republic either. And I'm not being just facetious either. It's very sad. It's just V and I are kind of calm tonight, despite the rage inside. It just seems inevitable at this point. That doesn't mean we're going to give up fighting. Hell no, we're Americans. We do not give up. But there are times that you just wonder. I mean, who's on our side? Other than all you great folks out there that have that fire in your belly, that love of this country in your belly. But we surely can't trust the Democrats, who are, for all intents and purposes, communists, and we darn sure can't trust the Republicans, who are worse than the Democrats, because they should know better, and we overwhelmingly elected them to get something done, and all they do is defecate on us day in and day out.
Well, it's a bad state of affairs. No, definitely not giving up. Definitely not giving in. I will die a free woman, period.
Yep.
But yeah, it's right now, I think, you say, the rage is built, is inside of us. You're absolutely correct. We are not suffering from normalcy bias. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with what normalcy bias is, it's a psychological condition that was came to light during Hitler's takeover, and that was all of the Jews, because they had not encountered the situation being that bad before. With each little milestone, they said, oh, okay, well, this is as bad as it's going to get. And another week later, well, okay, I can deal with that. This is as bad as it's going to get. And they kept that mentality all the way to the gas chambers and to the concentration camps. And they coined that normalcy bias. I am not suffering from normalcy bias. I am not accepting any of this. The senior often, uses the analogy of putting a frog in a pot and putting it on the stove and slowly turning up the heat. The frog does not attempt to get out because the movement forward to the heat is so gradual that it's boiling before the frog knows what's happening. It's too late. It's done. And that is pretty much where we are right now in this nation. We are, to coin his phrase, post-constitutional. The question is, what are we going to do about it? I'm evaluating many situations. I know some people who would like to stand up, but I also know that 90% of the people that say that they're going to stand up are not going to do so. The numbers are going to be small. Now, during the revolution, the estimate was 3%. Folks, we're not going to have 3%. We're going to be lucky if we have 1%.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody, what I have found as I evaluated this whole situation, most of the people that you hear complaining the loudest, that are really active in the movement, ultimately require some form of government to help them move forward, and they're not going to risk their children not eating, or being picked up and taken to a FEMA camp, or what have you, losing their house, losing their job, losing their car, losing whatever. They're not willing to take the risk that our founding fathers did in saying, I don't care what I lose. There are not, and I am not in any way, shape, or form equating myself to the founding fathers, because I know I am way too crazy to ever even be closely aligned with them. But I am just crazy enough to say I would give up. I am willing to risk everything to reclaim the constitutional republic that is the United States of America. Because I have to look at my children's face if I don't. I have to look at my grandchildren's face if I don't. I would rather die knowing I tried and never have to look them in the eye than to sit back and grow old and accept this garbage and say, well, I just wanted to be with you, and that was at all cost. If you're suffering, I'm sorry. Nana just wanted to spend time with you. No. Yeah. Y'all can take that for whatever y'all think that's worth. There's a reason.
I think if you say it, I'm going to be honest with you, that I don't doubt you. I don't know about anybody else, but
that's because you know me.
Right.
There's a difference there. These folks out here don't know me.
No, she speaks the truth, folks. She speaks the truth. There is no doubt in my mind about that.
It's
I don't know. Where do we go from here? I mean, I love the country, and I'm not done. I'm not done by a long shot. It's just one of those nights that it just gets to be so overwhelming. I guess it's because I'm human, and sometimes you just feel like you've taken that you're the boxer in the ring, or I don't know what analogy to use, but you've taken that one punch too many or something. And today with this FCC thing, and the problem is, okay, folks. The problem is maybe there are some issues out there, but do you think, and you could name me one thing that the federal government does that turns out well? And let's look at we've got a government that can't even do a website for Obamacare, yet they've taken over, a third of the U.S. economy with Obamacare? And here's my issue, folks, and people that were talking to me about this FCC thing, because like I said, nobody knew about it, so they were asking me about it, and the only thing I could say, and I want to give a shout out to Robin in New York, we talked about it, while I was going down the road, and I said, okay, 332 pages, and they wouldn't let us see one single word out of it. So what does that tell you right there, folks? You could not see one word out of 332 pages of regulations. What does that tell you? With the knowledge you have about the federal government and how they screw up everything that they touch, what does that tell you? You think it's going to be good for America? You think it's going to be good for the common man? You think it's going to be good for conservatives? Well, if you do, then I guess you're entitled to your wrong opinion. But I suspect that the rest of us know exactly what's in store for us on some level. Hopefully it's not as bad as we think, but I would suspect it'll be worse than we imagine, because we simply don't know. But they had to pass it so we could find out what's in it, just like Obamacare. And, of course, the sting from Obamacare is going to be with us for a long, long time. Even though, remember, the Republicans were going to get in there and take Obamacare and get rid of it and do all this different stuff. Have they even proposed something to replace Obamacare? Not really. Not anything that's going to get any traction or that has gotten any traction.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if you want to know how deceitful your government is, number one, there's been a call for an audit of the Fed. The Fed, what's her name?
Yellen?
Yeah, Yellen. It said, no, there's no reason in this world for you to audit the Fed. There is nothing in the government that should not be audited. We'll start with that. However, if you want to know how underhanded and sneaky and how they play the shell game and all this, that, and the other, Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen conceded yesterday that the national economic state is less rosy than the numbers suggest. She was speaking in regards to the purported 5.7% in January unemployment rate. Now, what she went on to describe in this hearing was there are several tiers of judging unemployment, from U1 to U6 or 7. I cannot remember which it was. Anyway, what she basically came down to, she says the U6 is a broader measure of unemployment, and it includes marginally attached and discouraged workers, and usually a larger number of individuals who are working part-time because they are incapable of finding full-time work, or are what they call underemployed. Somebody who maybe was a teacher making $50,000 a year that is now making minimum wage, that kind of job. She goes on to say that the current is actually 12.1% when you take into those numbers.
And that's what we've always maintained. Yeah, right around there.
We absolutely
And it's much higher, like in the black community. Let's look at the black community and all these different communities, and we can break it down even further. Much, much higher in those communities, like even children, certain ages and stuff like that typically would have high school jobs. Much higher rates of unemployment.
In black communities, and this is why I don't get why black people are not just absolutely livid with this regime, because in black communities... seriously, when over 30% of your community is unemployed, we're not talking about the folks that are lifetime welfare recipients. So you've got 30% that's unemployed, and probably another 20 to 30% that are lifetime welfare recipients. I mean, if I was the black community, I would be slinging rods.
But yet, if he ran for a third term, you'd get 90+% black vote, folks. 90+%, probably closer to 95%. They couldn't vote for him a third time fast enough. Their Messiah could not vote for him fast enough, even though he's more white than I am. Raised by rich white grandparents in Hawaii. Yeah, that was a tough upbringing, I'm sure.
And them rough. I mean, he knows all about the ghetto and what it is to be black because he went to an all-white private school.
The ghetto. Yeah, fish didn't burn in the kitchen and fish... Never mind, I can't sing it. Okay? I was trying to sing the George and Wheezy song. And I almost said the Jetsons.
Well, we're moving on up.
Fish don't fry in the kitchen, beans don't burn on the grill.
Took a whole lot of trying.
Did I just say the Jetsons? Good Lord. I'm getting all confused tonight. I got the vapors. I need some medicine.
Good gracious alive. We are in a mess.
A little bit, though, don't we?
We are in a mess. And people, it's amazing to me how many people are just totally oblivious to the fact that we're in this mess. I mean, at least the folks that are listening to our show are getting the information. I sat today, and this is no lie, I watched all day long. I had Fox News on. From the time now listen, I did it for a purpose.
MSNBC, I guess.
No, I did it for a purpose.
Oh.
I sat all day long from 7 o'clock this morning till when I came on the show, watching Fox News, waiting. I wanted to see if the Elizabeth Warren and the ISDS thing came up.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to see if the Loretta Lynch thing came up. I wanted to see if any of these things were going to come forward. And you know what? I was amazed. Actually, I wasn't. I just shook my head. Right before air, I just shook my head and said, I cannot believe that they're not discussing any of this. But, the fact of the matter is, when you came, people don't know that some days you and I talk throughout the day. And just chit-chat. Right. But then there are some days like today where we don't talk till 10 minutes before the show. We don't message, we don't text, we don't talk, nothing. It's like 10 minutes before the show, you ready for air? I hope you've got stuff pulled. I hope you were paying attention today. I was paying attention, so we're going to roll with it. Guys, when we say unrehearsed and unscripted, it is the absolute truth. But, I mean, even up to that point, it was, you came on and you were like, did you see this and you see that? And it's like, even the first story that we started on, you had not heard that. Nobody knew that. People are oblivious. The people that listen to our show know these things. Another thing you said right before the show, we started covering a story 2 weeks ago, reporting on things 2 weeks ago. And just today, there's an outrage with Rush and the rest of them. How many times does this happen to happen? I know good and doggone well they have access to the same information we do, and they've got a team of people pulling the crap for them. You and I do this crap by ourselves.
Better believe it. In addition to working a full-time job, family, the whole works. I mean, it's because it's a labor of love. It's my passion. It's because it's things that affect this country, and I want to know what's going on. I don't want to be one of those people that's in the dark. Although I got to tell you, folks, and we've talked about it. There's times I wonder wouldn't it be nice? I mean, of course we wouldn't know, but what would it be like to be a no information voter and just go through life? Everything's great. Oh God, you hear this? Watch sports last night and. Oh yeah, the Dancing with the Stars and all those cool things on TV. Oh my God!
What is that program? Oh my God!
So on One Life to Live or whatever. Oh my God, people, you sound like idiots. Well, I mean they are. They're useful idiots. That's really what they are. God bless them. They are useful idiots.
And what's bad is I know that there are people that watch that crap listening to the show right now.
Well, and of course
because we understand.
Some people can maintain a balance, though. And I'm not saying you have to be all into politics. My God, I'm certainly not all into politics. I've even admitted on the weekends I try to get it as far away from it as I can and try to detox a little bit. Just maintain, if anything big happens, but just try to have some balance in life, and enjoy the family and whatever else is going on in the world. But like I said, once you're switched on, and once you see it happening, if you truly have that love of your country, and it's in your spirit, it's in your soul, it's in your gut burning, then I think it would be impossible to ever go back the other way, because you see what is happening, and it's like, oh my God, we bring you guys stories, and you read stories yourselves and see stories that it's hard to believe that they're real. But yet it's happening in the year 2015 in what was formerly known as the United States of America. We're post-Constitution now. I don't know what you want to refer to it as, the 57 states. I'm not really sure. I don't believe we're united. We definitely have the states. I don't believe we're united by any stretch of the imagination, and I think it's all intentional. And I believe the last 6 years they've really doubled down. But let's not forget, folks, these communists were planning this back in the 20s, the 30s, and so on and so forth. They were planning for a long, protracted, but not right in your face battle. They knew they couldn't do this by trying to have a coup of sorts, to directly take over like they do in other countries. And folks, they put people in at every level. The teachers are gone. The college professors. If you could find 5% that were conservative, I think that'd be a high number. And these are the people that are filling your kids. Child abuse, as far as I'm concerned, that are filling your kids full of crap, and that they'll never know the true history of the United States because it's so racist. And I mean, they're changing everything, and especially with this commie core that they've brought up and that they're inflicting on everybody in every state. It's just amazing. But you got to give them credit, because I'll tell you what, they hang together, and we can't find 2 or 3 people on our side that will do it, that are in positions of leadership and such in the Congress or wherever they are. You just can't find enough that'll stand together and do it. But I'll tell you what, those leftists, commies, progressives, whatever you want to call them, Democrats, you got to give them some credit, because they will hang together until their demise, if need be. I mean, they will not give each other up. It's crazy.
Well, they are going to stand together. They're going to band together. They right now are on an attack of Bibi Netanyahu. Mm-hmm. And that is coming through every viable mouthpiece that they have. They're arming Iran. They have armed ISIS. And they're going to continue to financially support ISIS. They're doing so through Turkey now. Of course, it's all the name game. They're ISIL and ISIS over here, but when we're sending them money, we're not. That's the Syrian rebels.
Folks, do you know that every day they're killing Christians throughout the Middle East? I mean, it is a full-out attack on Christianity, and it hardly makes the news over here. It's just despicable. Christians are suffering in ways that we can't even really talk about. I mean, if it's so graphic, they are being just destroyed. They are being wow.
In the last 3 days, 220 known Christians, and a report came forth today that that is probably 1/5 of what is dying on a daily basis at the hands of ISIS. Christians, not talking about the Shia Muslims, not talking about anything. We're talking about just Christians. They say that's probably 1/5. 220 in the last 3 days that they marched through the streets in cages to their death. Very much like loading the Nazi trains to the concentration camps, and that's the only thing to equate it to. Only these people are dying much, in my opinion, a more horrific death for the most part. There's a big difference on, I'm going to take you to the showers, and, you never come back, and nobody knows really for certain what happened to you. Exactly, but you just thought you were going to go take a shower, versus being in a cage, going through the street, and everybody's screaming out what's going to happen to you, whether it's going to be, you're going to be burned, your head's going to be removed, you're going to be lined up along, a ravine, much like the Nazis did, and shot in the back of the head. It seems that they are, more careful with their ammunition. Maybe the administration has some input in limiting their ammunition as well,
Well, we got to keep all the ammunition for the federal agencies. Those public servants that are doing so much good in the federal government. Our own American brothers and sisters. There's millions upon millions that work for the federal government, and I don't know if there's a good one among them. I don't know if there is one person of honor among them, because let's not forget, folks, even those people in Nazi Germany who were not part of the Nazi Party, and actually most Germans working in the bureaucracy were not part of the Nazi Party, but all of those people that worked in the bureaucracy and that made sure that those trains full of Jews going to the concentration camps and to the final solution to their death, those people that made those trains not only run on time, but also run efficiently with as many loads as possible and as straight of trips as possible, doing this all with the utmost efficiency. Those people after the war were found to also be could be punished, and it could be put to death and everything, because even though they weren't Nazis, good little Nazis, they were still doing something that was inherently wrong. So maybe there's a little warning there for Americans that work in the federal government, that just, all I'm doing is doing my job. I'm doing my job. I've got to support my family. I've got to work on my retirement and stuff like that. All I'm doing is what I'm being told. Well, that didn't work out very well in Nazi Germany, folks, for people that weren't a part of the Nazi Party, but that were helping achieve the final solution for the Jews. What was it, 6 million plus Jews? And God, I mean, seriously, and we've got these people throughout the federal government, and I don't think there's a person of honor among them. I really don't. Because how can you be a part of something like this and not do anything about it, folks? And how can you be a part of it and just rationalize it away?
Well, I'm not saying it. I hear all the calls. Well, Daryl Issa and Trey Gowdy and this person and
Jokes.
that, Ted Cruz and I'm just sick of, Jason Shavitz and, even people that I really, had a lot of respect for until the last couple of months. Steve King. It's hard to have respect when they are remaining silent, when they are not standing together and saying, we stand against this stuff and we have to stand together. We have to stand as strong as the Congressional Black Caucus.
Right.
Guys, we've got to take a break. Somebody's got to pay the bills. We'll be back in a few moments.
This is a station identification moment. You're listening to CPR Worldwide Media, a division of CPR Media Network, coming to you live right across the planet. Check out our website at www.cprworldwidemedia.com and our Facebook page at facebook.com/CPR Worldwide Media. This is CPR Media Network, coming to you live from the USA.
Well, looky here, a new listener. Hey, this ain't your little sister's radio station.
Citigold is an account from a global bank with over 200 years experience, offering international banking expertise across over 100 markets. Your dedicated investment consultant adds a unique personal touch to your banking experience. Complimentary lifestyle offers like Marhaba service and free global money transfers help you save on time and money. At the core of Citigold is your dedicated relationship manager, personally looking after your financial needs. Be it lifestyle privileges like golf, lounge access across the Middle East, or worldwide privileges, Citigold provides you with a rewarding experience. One card is all you need for all your Citibank accounts. As a Citigold client, you benefit from our international expertise and global reach. Citigold is more than an account. It's a personal banking service offering exceptional privileges, customer service and recognition worldwide. So wherever you are, Citigold will be with you.
Hi, my name is Robert Bassain. I drove the Ford F-150.
Hi, my name is Brunel, and I was blown away by Ford.
Hi, my name is Marcus, and Ford surprised me with how nice the F-150s look.
My name is Chandler, and Ford's killing the game right now. That's all I can say. That truck over there, it's bigger, it's better, and it's going to be mine.
The style of the new models, it just looks mean and elegant at the same time. The driving is great, but the inside and the outside has the best look of all the Fords so far.
I love Ford because Ford's the best.
Welcome back, everybody. It's WTF, and I am V. Wright.
And I am Jose Estevez. Welcome to the last segment of the last show of the week. And we sure do miss you folks when we're gone. But as always, we are with you Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern, here on the CPR Worldwide Media Network and the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot Show with your wonderful hosts, V and Jose. Hey, V, I got to read a quote here.
Okay.
This is particularly poignant to me, and especially at this time where we are in this country. This is accredited to Samuel Adams. If you love wealth greater than liberty, the tranquility of servitude greater than the animating contest for freedom, go home from us in peace. We seek not your counsel, nor your arms. Crouch down and lick the hand that feeds you. May your chains set lightly upon you, and may posterity forget that you were our countrymen. And I think that's as appropriate as any time in our history, right now as at any time in our history, for the 50% or so in this country that can't be bothered to care about the future
50?
of this country, or worse yet,
50?
that are actively trying to change the future of this country and fundamentally transform it into something it was not designed to be.
Senor,
yes.
I have to ask you something, because you said 50%, and you go to work on a daily basis and you come in contact with a multitude of people. Of course, I'm not going to disclose what you do for a living,
No.
but you do come, in contact with many people. How many of those people are not apathetic on a daily basis on average?
More than 50%.
Would you say
Or are not apathetic
7
or are apathetic?
that are not apathetic?
Oh.
How many?
If I see a couple people
aware
that
individual
have a clue what's going on, then I feel myself blessed that day, to be honest with you.
So you would venture to say, what, 70% are apathetic, 80%, 80, 90% maybe?
90, yep.
Yeah. We are in strange times, folks. Even what you've got to say is that there might be 10 to 15% of us that are awake, but out of that 10 to 15% of us, how many are capable of doing anything? Guys, when I go out and I talk to people, do you know who it is that are awake, paying attention? It is the folks that listen to this show. It is the people that are 40 plus.
Yes.
With a vast majority of them being 60 plus.
Mm-hmm.
It is the people who fought in World War II that remain with us. It is the people who fought in Korea that remain with us. It is the numerous people that I come in contact with that went to Vietnam and are scared to death that this nation that they went to fight for, even though they may not agree with the whole concept of Vietnam.
Right.
They fought for their country. They fought on behalf of their country. Maybe not for our country, but on behalf of. And they watched their friends die. Guys that they called brothers. In situations that have left them with hardships for the rest of their lives. I mean, just about every military veteran I know suffers from some form of PTSD. And it goes from mild to extreme. But all of them suffer. It's something that they carry with them. And you're going to sit here, and in a week I have watched, and they have watched, and they have commented to me. It has all been for nothing, and things are going to get ugly. And nobody wanted it to get ugly. But this regime is not going to allow it not to get ugly. And the only alternative that is out there is to accept and comply. Now, I don't know about you guys. I can't account for anyone other than myself. I learned a long time ago, depend on no one else. Mm-hmm. Hope that they'll join along, but be prepared to move forward alone. I've been that way my whole life. I'm not going to stop it now. As a matter of fact, my whole life has led me up to these days. And I'm going to tell you, I will not comply. I will let this regime know right here, right now, I will not comply. You can come for me. That's fine. We can do this right here where I am at this very moment. That's fine. I'm okay. I know what comes after, so I have no fear of you.
Mm-hmm.
But I will not comply. And you can take that to the grave with you, because I will.
And we know, at least we know, and we take some solace in the fact that there are other Americans out there that will not comply. We've got, and I can't begin to name even a portion of them, but all of our constitutional sheriffs. Who was the gentleman we had on the show?
Tom Laurie.
Tom Laurie out of Upper New York State. The great group that was formed after the SAFE Act was passed, the New York Revolution, with Wayne Den and all the other guys up
and
there.
George Corbella, yeah.
And I'm even reading that in Connecticut, where they were supposed to register their arms. They said they guessed that only 4% of the gun owners were complying with that. And I'm just saying, God bless people like this, because folks, you know, there's potential ramifications from not complying with them, but God bless them that they're not willing to go along with something that's unlawful, that's illegal, that's just nonsense, basically. So there are good people out there, and those are the people that we stand with, and those are my brothers and sisters.
Absolutely. The likes of Casey Massey, the likes of Razor Dobbs, the likes of Sharon Darrington, of Jen the Archer Cardara. I mean, you know, what wonderful people that understand, and they are not alone. The numbers, I mean, that I know a lot of people. And I pay attention to all of these social groups. And then I want to tell you guys something else. Not everybody is on social media.
Well, certainly, right. But even the people, you know, like the overpassers, we've featured them, and a lot of you out there do that overpass stuff. You know what, folks? You don't have to. That's enough. You're waking people up. You're getting the word out there in a big way. I mean, you're standing over an interstate highway somewhere. I don't care where you are. You're getting the word out there. And if you even affect a couple people and make them start to even think about something, that's where it starts, and that's where it has to continue going. That grassroots type stuff that so many of you people are involved with, especially when the weather's good.
But
Once
you
we
can
get rid of this
trust.
global warming here in the next month or so, hopefully that'll all start cranking up.
I would guarantee you, I would almost be willing to, if I was a betting woman, I would lay money on the fact in the next 6 months, groups such as those that we've mentioned will be shut down. They've already infiltrated militias and disbanded them, and they've gone after the likes of Casey Massey for, you know, trying to protect our borders. They are coming after us. They see us as the biggest threat. What are we the biggest threat to? It isn't their bodily harm that they're afraid of. It's our power to motivate and awaken others, and they cannot tolerate us.
No, they can't. They cannot have that, because it's all about power and control, and they cannot stand anyone that's going to potentially take some of that power and control away from them. And of course, it all has to do with money. Let's not forget, money goes hand in hand with that. But what you said is right, because with the federal takeover of the government via the FCC just today, folks, and if you've been living under a rock, yes, the federal government, we don't even know what it means, because the 332-page document, nobody has read a word of it outside of the FCC, apparently, and the regime who helped write it. So we've got this 332-page document. We don't know what's in it. They had to pass it so we can find out what's in it. So with the federal takeover of the internet now, she's right. I mean, social media sites, they could say that they're some conservatives are having too much, because it's all about fairness. So they could say that it's unfair to the liberals, to the communists, to the progressives, whatever you want to call them. And so we've got to, the conservatives, we can't have them communicating as much.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Happen.
Wait a minute. I want you to think about this. They have MSNBC, they have ABC, NBC, CBS, PBS. Wait a minute. MSNBC, CNN, and there's I know HLN and a few others I know. Okay, we had Fox News. That's the only one we had. They gag ordered all of them to not report certain things. And I don't know the stipulations or what was threatened or what have you, but they gag ordered. Now, take this into account as you think about what they consider fair and balanced, okay? They get up there and tout Fox News. Now, we all know how liberal they've become. They are no longer fair and balanced. They're no longer conservative. They're not even fair and balanced anymore, okay? But yet, that is the one that they scream and yell about. The only one that does not go totally on their side is the one that is not doing a fair and balanced job. So if you think that they're not going to do it to the internet, if you think they're not going to do it to shows like this one or networks like this one, if you think that they're not going to do it to individual websites, you're already seeing it on television.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen to this. This is just happening as we're on air, folks. And this is the great thing about doing something live like this. Bill O'Reilly tonight on his show rudely challenged Franklin Graham when Franklin Graham said there are Muslim advisors to Obama. O'Reilly says he knows of no Muslim advisors. Oh, gee, Bill, what about all the Muslim organizations like the Muslim Brotherhood, CARE, ISNA, and all the other ones that go to the White House on a regular basis? What do? Think they're talking about playing cards or something like that? Oh, my gosh, O'Reilly, he's been a blowhard, bloviating moron for years. I can't watch him. I had to burn the books I bought from his back in the day when I thought he was really decent, but he is definitely not. So that's what Bill O'Reilly says. Obama doesn't have any Muslim advisors.
What is Valerie Jarrett? What is Valerie Jarrett? She is a known Muslim. She is part of the Muslim Sisterhood, and she is her title that the Secret Service protects is Chief Advisor to the President. If you think Bill O'Reilly isn't in on it, you're out of your mind. But he's going to collect that paycheck, just like so many out there are going to do. Like so many. I really hope that we don't have a listener out there that is going to sacrifice this country, their children, their grandchildren, everything with this nation that was good for the dollar today, because I'm going to tell you right now, I'd rather be homeless.
Mm-hmm. But there's not many people that feel like that, V, and we know that. We know that. Hey, folks, I love doing this show. I say that over and over again. I am blessed to do this show, and I am blessed for all the people that I meet through this show. But I'm giving a special shout-out to our first-time listener, John, down in Tennessee. John, you know I think you're like a brother from another mother to me. We've known each other on social media for years. One of these days when I get down to Tennessee, I promise I'll visit you. We'll get together somewhere in Tennessee. Thanks for listening in, and I know your mom has been ill recently, and I hope everything's going well with that. And God bless you for listening in, and I hope you're well. And this goes for all of you out there, even if I don't know your names. We think of you as just friends, patriots, Americans, and we love all of you for listening in, and just feel free to spread the news about this show. As always, you can always call in and talk to us with whatever you want to say. We don't really we limit you sometimes in the calls. We have to do that, but we do not. What am I trying to say here, V? Help me with the word. We don't censor you. We do not censor you within reason. We try to keep it PG-13.
We just ask that you keep it PG-13.
Right, and we've had a couple that have stretched that, shall we say? But we love you guys too. Right? All of a sudden, we just sit there kind of dumbfounded, and you hear this like couple seconds of dead air. It's like, did they just say that? Yeah, they did. But we realize it's because they're very passionate. And, we've got some great listeners. And that goes for all of you over the world that don't even hear us live. A lot of you are picking us up because of different time zones and stuff like that. and our recasts and everything. And God bless all of you wherever you are in the world. We love all of you, and this just stems from our passion for this country and for what America stands for, that shining city on a hill, and one of the best country in the world, warts and all. Nobody's perfect. No country can ever be perfect because, of course, it's run by humans, and humans are perfectly imperfect. That's the way we are, and we just love this country. God bless it. Man.
Well, we do love this country, but this today the country is not the same as it was 6 months ago. It is not the same country that we had a year ago. It is not the same country. In all honesty, I mean, I can't help but wonder. Well, no, I know better. Never mind. I am not. Never mind that, because it's just craziness. This is the slow bleed, folks, and the fact of the matter is, over the last couple of days, they've inflicted more wounds, and the bleeding has picked up, and America's bleeding out. We are bleeding out. The Constitution and Bill of Rights are bleeding out the veins of this great nation, and there is not a soul in the federal government stepping forward and saying, hey, somebody hand me some sutures.
Mm-hmm.
Not a soul. Guys, I want to remind you that tonight, following our show, that you will get the Ruthie Report with Ruthie Hendricks. She does a great show that follows ours on Thursday night. She does that show from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. You guys make sure to stay tuned for that. Also want to remind you guys that you can find us on our website, www.thewtfradioshow.com. You can reach us in email by going contact us at thewtfradioshow.com. You can pick us up at CPR Worldwide Media. You can also find us at tunein.com. Just put CPR in the search box and poof, our station will appear. So many ways to get in touch with us. Many of you are familiar with both Jose and I in Facebook and other social media. We have a Twitter at the WTF Radio, and you can find our Facebook page at WTF, the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot Show. Senor.
Yes.
I forgot. Y'all can call us. 313-462-0068. Anytime live, Monday through Thursday. And we are here 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. all 4 days, live, uncensored, unscripted, unrehearsed, unprepared sometimes. And PG-13 and never PC.
Never.
I'm not going to lie to you. Yep. I mean, some days we show up 5 minutes ahead of time. You ready to go? I'm ready to go. You got something? No, but I heard this on the news today.
I was at my daughter's basketball game at 6:40 p.m. this evening, folks. Hopefully they were going for their second win of the week, and they were playing really good and doing a really good job. And I had to leave before the right at the beginning of the fourth quarter, but to get here to the show to be with you folks for the last night of the week. And also another shout out to Senior Keith down in Indianapolis, Indiana area. Great guy from social media, has been just really great to me and very understanding, and he said he's listening in for the first time tonight. And welcome, Keith, and let all your friends know if you're enjoying our efforts. I actually got the O'Reilly thing from something he had posted, but that Bill O'Reilly, and I'm going to be honest with you, I used to love him. Used to watch him like crazy, but he has gone off the deep end, and he can't carry enough water for the regime and for Barack Hussein Obama himself. So all of you that are listening in for the first time, hit us up on social media. Let us know how you like it, good and bad. Anything we can do to improve that you think might be some weaknesses or some area for improvement, we're willing to hear that too. We're just two people that love the country, and we're just regular human beings. We're just like you folks. We have to work, and we have to help pull that cart. Part of the 40% pulling that cart, folks, and it's getting harder and harder to do.
Well, one of the things that that was posted to on our Facebook page today It says land grabs, gun grabs, increased taxation, regulation of ammo, takeover of the internet, utilizing ABC government departments to attack law-abiding citizens, vetoing of job-creative bills, the lack of enforcement of laws of national security, arming funding of known enemies, the financial support of illegal invaders, the passing of laws unread, the executive actions granting the United Nations to override American courts, the dismissal of our allies, the push for limiting one's right to free speech, the ability to contain dissenters, the militarization of local law enforcement, the purging of our combat-tested military personnel, the deployment of those yet to be purged, the push to classify those who have served this nation with honor as having a mental disorder. Tell me again that we're a free nation.
Welcome to the United States of America, folks. February 26, 2015. That's the United States of America. That's not China. That's not Soviet Russia. That's not Cuba. That's not Libya. That's not Iraq. That's the United States of America right now as it is.
Well, guys, we've had a great week with you guys. We hope that you've had a great week with us. We're going to enjoy our weekend as much as possible without, like, going off the deep end, listening to the abuses that we are intended to suffer at the hands of the tyrannical regime. Comrade Califf in the White House, I'm sure, has much more in store for us. And he is going full speed ahead. There are no bumpers on that track, no speed bumps, no, the best that we can hope for is that somewhere along the line somebody will throw a stick in it and cause it to derail. But I have a feeling that's going to be up to us. Not because no one in D.C. is going to do anything. We will be back here Monday unless the FCC decides that we're no longer pertinent. 7 to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Live, unrehearsed, unscripted, PG-13, never PC, senor.
God bless America. We love you folks. We know you love America as well. And we will be back on Monday. Have a great weekend. God bless America.
Protest line, freedom scribbled on your sign. Headline, New York Times, standing on the edge of a revolution. Hey, hey, just obey your secret. What do we want? We want change. And how we